Once upon a time, in a small college town nestled in the mountains, there was a group of friends who decided to rent a house together off campus. Little did they know, the house they chose had a dark and twisted history that would soon come back to haunt them. As the semester began, strange things started happening in the house. Doors would slam shut on their own, lights would flicker uncontrollably, and eerie whispers could be heard in the dead of night. At first, the friends brushed off these occurrences as mere coincidences. But as the weeks went by, the terror escalated. One night, as they were studying for their midterms, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the house. They rushed to investigate, only to find one of their friends lying unconscious on the floor, her body covered in strange markings. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone in the house. Desperate for answers, they turned to a local historian who revealed the dark past of the house. It was once owned by a deranged professor who conducted twisted experiments on his students, using them as subjects for his gruesome research. The professor had disappeared mysteriously, but his malevolent spirit still lingered in the house, seeking revenge on anyone who dared to disturb his domain. As the friends delved deeper into the history of the house, they uncovered a series of chilling secrets that connected them to the professor's past victims. They realized they were being targeted one by one, and their only hope for survival was to confront the vengeful spirit head-on. Armed with knowledge and courage, they devised a plan to banish the professor's spirit from the house once and for all. They performed a ritual to cleanse the space of his malevolent energy, but as they did, the house began to shake violently, walls cracking and windows shattering. In a final act of defiance, the professor's spirit manifested before them, his eyes burning with rage. But the friends stood their ground, united in their determination to rid the house of his evil presence. With a blinding flash of light, the spirit vanished, leaving behind a sense of peace and closure. As the sun rose over the mountains, the friends gathered outside the house, grateful to have survived their harrowing ordeal. They knew they would never forget the horrors they had faced, but they also knew they had emerged stronger and closer than ever before. And as they walked away from the house, they knew they would always carry the memory of their college horror with them, a reminder of the power of friendship and courage in the face of darkness. It was the night before finals week, and the campus was eerily quiet as students hunkered down in their dorm rooms, cramming for exams. But one group of friends decided to take a break from studying and explore the abandoned building on the edge of campus rumored to be haunted. As they crept through the dark hallways, they heard strange noises and felt a chilling presence following them. Suddenly, they stumbled upon a room covered in blood and graffiti that seemed to be written in a language they couldn't understand. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone in the building. As they tried to make their way back to the exit, they found themselves trapped in a maze of corridors that seemed to shift and change before their eyes. The walls seemed to close in on them, and they could hear whispers and footsteps echoing all around them. Just when they thought they were doomed to be lost forever, they stumbled upon a hidden staircase leading down into the depths of the building. Reluctantly, they descended into the darkness, unsure of what horrors awaited them below. As they reached the bottom of the staircase, they found themselves in a dimly lit chamber filled with strange symbols and artifacts. The air grew colder, and they could feel a malevolent presence watching them from the shadows. Suddenly, the room erupted in a cacophony of screams and wails as the spirits of the building's dark past came to life before their eyes. Terrified, they ran for the exit, vowing never to return to the haunted building again. And as they emerged into the cold night air, they knew they had narrowly escaped a fate worse than failing their finals. It was the night before finals week at the prestigious Ivy League University, and the campus was eerily quiet as students hunkered down in their dorm rooms, buried in textbooks and notes. But one group of friends decided to take a break from studying and explore the abandoned building rumored to be haunted. As they crept through the dark hallways, the air grew colder and the shadows seemed to dance around them. Suddenly, they heard a blood-curdling scream echoing through the empty corridors. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone in the building. They tried to find their way back to the entrance, but the hallways seemed to twist and turn, leading them deeper into the heart of the building. The walls were covered in strange symbols and graffiti, adding to the sense of dread that hung in the air. As they stumbled upon a room filled with old, decaying furniture, they heard whispers coming from the shadows. The friends huddled together, their hearts pounding in their chests as they tried to make sense of the terrifying situation they found themselves in. Just as they were about to give up hope of ever escaping, they stumbled upon a hidden staircase leading down into the bowels of the building. With no other options left, they descended into the darkness, praying they would make it out alive. As they reached the bottom of the staircase, they were met with a sight that chilled them to the core. A figure stood before them, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light, and as it reached out towards them, they knew they were facing a horror beyond their wildest nightmares. The friends screamed in terror as the figure lunged towards them, and the darkness consumed them all. Once upon a time, in a small college town nestled in the mountains, there was a group of friends who decided to spend the night in the abandoned dormitory on campus. The building had a dark history, with rumors of mysterious disappearances and strange occurrences that had plagued the students for years. As the friends settled in for the night, they began to hear strange noises coming from the empty hallways. The sound of footsteps echoing through the corridors, whispers that seemed to come from nowhere, and doors slamming shut on their own. At first, they tried to brush it off as their imagination playing tricks on them, but as the night wore on, the terror began to set in. One by one, the friends started to disappear, vanishing into thin air without a trace. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone in the dormitory, and whatever was haunting the building had set its sights on them. They frantically searched for a way out, but the doors seemed to lead them in circles, trapping them in a never-ending nightmare. As the night grew darker, the friends began to see shadowy figures lurking in the corners of the rooms, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. They could feel a malevolent presence watching them, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The air grew thick with fear, and the friends knew they were running out of time. Desperate for a way to escape, they stumbled upon a hidden room in the basement of the dormitory. Inside, they found a dusty old book filled with cryptic symbols and incantations. With trembling hands, they began to recite the words, hoping to banish the evil that had taken hold of the building. But as they spoke the final words, a deafening roar filled the room, and the walls began to shake. The friends realized too late that they had unleashed something far more powerful than they could have ever imagined. The dormitory itself seemed to come alive, twisting and contorting around them as they were consumed by darkness. And as the first rays of dawn broke through the windows, the abandoned dormitory stood silent once more, its secrets buried deep within its walls. The friends were never seen again, their fate forever entwined with the terrifying horror story of the college dormitory. It was a dark and stormy night at the old abandoned college campus. The wind howled through the empty halls, sending shivers down the spines of the few brave souls who dared to venture inside. Among them was a group of friends, eager to explore the rumored haunted grounds and uncover the truth behind the chilling tales that had been passed down through generations. As they made their way through the decrepit buildings, the friends couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Shadows danced along the walls, and strange noises echoed through the corridors. But they pressed on, determined to unravel the mystery that lay before them. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air, causing the group to freeze in terror. They turned to see a figure standing in the shadows, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. It was the ghost of a former student, doomed to wander the campus for eternity. As the friends tried to flee, they found themselves trapped in a maze of twisting hallways and locked doors. The ghostly figure seemed to be toying with them, leading them deeper into the heart of the haunted campus. Just when they thought they couldn't take any more, they stumbled upon a room that sent chills down their spines. It was filled with ancient artifacts and eerie symbols, hinting at a dark and sinister past that had been long forgotten. As they tried to make sense of their surroundings, the ghostly figure appeared once more, its voice echoing through the room. It spoke of a curse that had been placed upon the college years ago, condemning all who dared to set foot on its grounds. The friends realized they were in grave danger, and they knew they had to find a way to break the curse before it was too late. But as they searched for a way out, they were met with more terrifying sights and sounds that threatened to drive them to madness. In a final act of desperation, they stumbled upon a hidden chamber deep within the campus, where they found the source of the curse. It was a powerful artifact that had been used to summon the ghostly figure and bind it to the college for all eternity. With trembling hands, they destroyed the artifact, breaking the curse and freeing the ghost from its eternal torment. As they fled the campus, they knew they had faced true terror and survived to tell the tale. And so, the friends vowed never to return to the haunted college campus, knowing that some horrors are best left undisturbed. But the memory of that terrifying night would haunt them for the rest of their days, a reminder of the darkness that lurks in the shadows of the world. Once upon a time, in a small college town nestled in the mountains, there was a legend that haunted the campus. It was said that a ghostly figure roamed the halls of the oldest building on campus, a former asylum turned dormitory. Students whispered about strange noises in the night, flickering lights, and the feeling of being watched when they were alone. One brave group of friends decided to investigate the rumors and spent a night in the abandoned building. As they wandered the dark corridors, they heard the sound of footsteps echoing behind them, but when they turned around, there was no one there. Suddenly, the temperature dropped, and they could see their breath in the air, despite it being a warm summer night. As they reached the top floor, they found a room covered in dust and cobwebs, with a single chair in the center. Curiosity got the best of them, and they dared one of their friends to sit in the chair. As soon as he did, the room filled with a chilling laughter that seemed to come from all around them. The friends screamed and ran for the exit, but the door slammed shut in front of them, trapping them inside. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone in the room. A figure materialized in front of them, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. It spoke in a voice that seemed to come from the depths of hell, promising to haunt them for the rest of their days. The friends huddled together, praying for a way out of the nightmare they had stumbled into. Just when they thought all hope was lost, a beam of light pierced through the darkness, illuminating a hidden door in the corner of the room. With a burst of courage, they made a run for it, throwing open the door and stumbling out into the night. They never looked back as they ran as fast as they could, the echoes of the ghostly laughter following them all the way back to their dorms. From that day on, the friends never spoke of their terrifying experience in the abandoned building. But they knew that the legend was true, and that the ghostly figure would forever haunt their memories, a reminder of the true horror that lurked in the shadows of their college campus.